So I closed $2 million by 22 years old, and now I'm not bragging. I just want to be honest with you guys. And 2 years ago, it wasn't like this at all. You know, I'm a high ticket closer now. I make between 15 and $20,000 a month in commissions as a closer, working for the biggest influencers online. And I'm basically going through sales calls like 20, 30 minutes in, and I just close those deals, get the commission, take home. But 2 years ago, I was actually trying to do drop shipping. I was trying to do trading. I was trying to do SMMA inspired by Megatsi. None of that worked at all. And here's the thing that most guys don't see about success. And one of the main reasons why 99% of guys my age or your age are not making or won't make $10,000 a month unless you understand these four key things. And I want to keep it super genuine. I want to keep it super straightforward because I think this is super valuable for every single person to understand. I'm going to give you context on why I couldn't become successful 2 years ago and why I am actually successful right now. So, first things first, you got to kill the family bias. That's not your fault. And this is one of the only things that's actually not your fault, but something that you can actually correct, something that you can fix within yourself and your consciousness. A lot of you guys watching this, you probably have a dad or a mom or somebody that took care of you while you grow up. And that those people, they actually care about you most of the time, right? I'm going to assume that they actually care about you. So you got to think about it this way. Your family as a whole, they have beliefs that are coming from their parents, that those parents have beliefs that come from their parents, and they go down and down and down into every single descendant, right? And for me, one of those beliefs was you got to go to college, you got to study hard, you got to work hard and be loyal to a company, or, just like, follow your career and study something that's safe, something that's going to give you, a certification or whatever, and then work your ass off for 40 plus years just so that you can live off of pension. And for me, just the thought of it, even back then, it was like, I don't really want that for my life. I don't really want to live that way, right? And I'm pretty sure you guys are not dumb. And most of you guys clearly understand that college is not really the way to go. But I want to explain why. Again, your parents are not saying those things to you out of ill intentions. They are not saying these things to you because they don't want to see you win. They are saying these things to you because it's the safest pathway for survival. Because they are operating from a place of survival where there's a lot of scarcity, where you need to focus on actually surviving, in actually living, being able to afford what to eat, what not to eat, and then actually having a family and just settling for the rest of your life. And you know, this is super funny because I actually challenged that belief 2 years ago. And that's the exact moment where I dropped out of college. I went all in high ticket sales. I absolutely made it work. Within 4 months, I was already making my first 4K a month. And take into consideration one thing, I come from Colombia, which is in South America. I learned English playing Fortnite, but I've been so blessed with business, and I've been so blessed with high ticket sales that I've been able to travel the world, Europe, multiple countries, and I've been able to actually make a name for myself in this industry. And I'm able to make 15 to $20,000 a month, which is not something a lot of people are would like capable of doing. But it's not that they're not capable, because if you are born speaking English, if you have a laptop, if you have internet connection, and you have 2 to 5 hours a day available, then you have absolute no excuse to not make this work. Like, you absolutely have no excuse in the world not to make this work. And I want you to actually listen to me carefully right now. because what I'm about to say could change absolutely everything for you, your life, your perception of yourself, your limiting beliefs, and what you actually do from now on. You don't have a money problem, you have an identity problem. And as I was saying before, you're operating from a place of survival. You're not operating from a place of abundance, acceptance. And you're definitely not operating from a place of taking risk, calculated risk, of course, and then actually betting on yourself. And the reason you're not actually doing those things, even if you think or you believe you are, it's because you're not actually getting those things. And it sounds very simple and it sounds kind of stupid, but think about it this way. If you actually locked the clock in for 6 months consistently and you learn a skill and you do the most amount of content or the most amount of calls or the most amount of whatever business you're in, there's no possible way for you to actually fail because every single time something doesn't go your way, you're actually learning a new way not to do it, right? But a lot of people, they try something for a month, they try something maybe for 2 months, they see no results, and they actually default to scarcity, they default to survival, they default to their old perceived person, which is again somebody that has to go for the safest path, go to college, get a job, work for 40 plus years, get a family, settle down, and not be fulfilled or not be super happy and not actually achieve the life that we want. And that's a dangerous trap that a lot of people will never get out of simply because they have these limiting beliefs and they have their identity so so basically on a jail. There's like your mind is in a jail made out of beliefs and assumptions about yourself that come from your family and the people around you. So you need to start actually like thinking for yourself and you need to actually challenge those beliefs. And the only way that you can possibly do that is through just self mastery. So I'm going to give you guys an example. There are people that I studied with in high school that will never, ever, ever, ever in your life would have thought that they were going to make more than $1,000 a month because of how much money that is in Colombia, for example. And I know that's not a lot of money. Of course, it's not a lot of money, right? It's just a perceived, that's just a belief. I was able to crack down this with one of my students, and I reshaped his entire identity and his beliefs. And now he's making $2,000 a month coming from Colombia in like the last 4 months. And again, I want to repeat this very because I want to make sure that this is understood. He comes from Colombia. He doesn't have the greatest accent in the world, or at least not in the. It's not the best accent possible, and he's making this much. Now, I got a student from Bolivia that's actually making $5,000 a month remotely without having to clock in and out of an office or go to work in the cold street or whatever, right? Just because he actually logged in. Again, he doesn't have the best accent in the world. I have a student, actually Noah from Los Angeles. He's from the United States, and he is also doing $5,000 a month. He's 17 years old. The reason he's able to do this much, even though he was so skeptical when he came into the call with me, it's because he's actually betting on himself and challenging those beliefs that his family put onto him. And he decided to actually bet on himself, not against them. Because what do you do when you're not betting on your dreams? You're betting against them. You're either all in or you're all out, right? All in or all out. That's pretty much it. Like there's no quantum science for that. And again, I think most people they don't even have like problem awareness. Like let's say you want to get to $10,000 a month in the next 90 days. It's quite simple. You just need to lock in one skill, get the right opportunity, and do something remotely. You know, we're on a digital era where you can actually leverage artificial intelligence and you can actually make so much goddamn money. But I'm going to explain to you how I was able to do that. So after trying SMA, dropshipping and trading, ecom, whatever, I came across a YouTube video from one of my friends from Australia who was doing high ticket sales. I literally messaged him on Instagram, bro. I don't give a fuck how much it is. I don't care. I don't care the nuances of it. I just want to make this work. Can you help me? Yes or no? And he actually gave me clarity around the steps that I needed to take because he saw hunger on me. He saw that I was so determined on making this work, even though back then, 2 years ago, my accent sucked. I didn't even spoke English that well. Now I do. And thanks to that, I'm able to close so many deals. But at the end of the day, when I started back then, I still made like 4K, like 4 months, right? So I look at those things and I look at my perception and how it changed across the years. And I basically went from survival to abundance. I went from scarcity to wanting to scale to make more money. I'm able to take care of my family. I'm able to take care of my loved ones. I'm able to travel. I'm able to make money, and I don't have to suffer. But suffering is a choice because think about that for a minute. How would it feel for you to not feel fear? How would it feel for you to bet on your dreams and not having to look back or even care about the fear of judgment from your loved ones or from people around you that ultimately, most of them or some of them might not even care about your results. They just don't want to see you doing better than them. So that it's actually challenging because for you to actually change your identity and actually bet on your dreams, it's like you need to literally kill your own identity, like everything that you believe in, and remake yourself from the ground up with new beliefs that are actually supporting your dreams. And if you're able to do that, which again is not that difficult, you are absolutely able to do anything. You can do absolutely anything that you put your mind in. A lot of people, they are consumers, not producers. And let me elaborate on this a little bit. But if you are watching short form content on an everyday basis and you're watching YouTube videos every single day about business, about looks maxing, about self development, and you're not actually doing any of those things, and you're not actually putting on that, you're not actually building that business, you're not actually working hard, you're not actually investing into yourself, you are not taking calls, then how can you possibly get data? And how can you possibly get the feedback that you need to then make it work? You can't because you're not actually doing anything. You're just coping and hoping that someday something will change. But no one will just nobody will just go into your house, knock your door, and tell you, bro, you gotta put your head down and do this for XYZ time. I believe in you, and this is the results that you're gonna get. You're not gonna get that, right? Because if you don't believe in yourself, you don't have the right to be believed in. And it's shameful sometimes to accept that we're doing the things wrong. It is shameful to accept sometimes that maybe what we think and the people around us are not actually helping us towards our dreams. But the moment you start being congruent with yourself and you stop caring about what people think, that's the moment everything will change for you. And again, most of you guys will probably see this and think, well, and what the fuck do I do? Like, where do I go from here? It's simple. Bet on yourself. There's no other words. Like, bet on yourself. If you want to pursue high ticket sales, which is something that worked for me, you can feel free to do that. If you want to build another business, feel free to do that and do it and bet on yourself, you know? And I'm actually at a point in my life where I feel so happy and so fulfilled and at so much peace that even if I get criticized sometimes, or even if I get judged by my family or friends or whatever, which doesn't happen anymore, It just happened at first because people didn't want to see me doing better than that, but then now they actually understand that, why Miguel did it. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. And now they actually reach out to me because they want jobs, or because they want placement, or because they want to do high ticket sales as well. But if you are ready to commit, and if you are ready to make a genuine change on your life, then this might be a wake up message for you. So, very simple. Again, I don't want this to be like a call to action or anything. But if you actually want to give it a shot, if you actually want to do high ticket sales, or maybe even just listen, or you might need some kind of advice, feel free to DM me the word close on my Instagram, which is in the description. It's Soy Miguel Angel. Feel free to message me, and I can absolutely help you with that. And again, if not, that's completely fine. I just want you to actually make a genuine change in your life, because if you don't do it, nobody will do it for you.